Have you ever looked at your life partner and wondered how two people who once shared everything could suddenly feel so distant? This doesn't happen overnight. Instead, it often develops in unexpressed moments, when one partner bears the emotional burden alone, when weeks pass without a real conversation, or when years go by with unbalanced responsibilities. Little by little, the spark that once ignited their bond begins to flicker. It's a truth many couples discover later in life. It's usually not due to a dramatic argument or a sudden loss of love. Rather, it's a slow and gradual realization that the couple lacks something essential: appreciation, emotional connection, or the feeling of growing together. As a result, countless women who once adored their husbands begin to feel distant, indifferent, or simply tired. Today, we will explore the most common reasons behind this emotional distance and, most importantly, discuss what can be done to reignite this connection before it's too late. Whether you're a husband wanting to better understand your wife, a woman seeking clarity, or simply someone fascinated by the dynamics of long-term relationships, stay with me. This conversation could forever change your perspective on love, aging, and marriage. First, the burden of emotional labor. For decades, many wives have carried the emotional rhythm of the household. They remember anniversaries, make medical appointments, manage the children's school schedules, and even keep track of family meetings. This invisible work often goes unnoticed, yet it can be mentally and physically exhausting. Imagine Linda, married to Mark for 30 years. Throughout this time, it was Linda who ensured the fridge was full, the bills were paid on time, and the emotional well-being of the entire family was taken care of. Mark might help here and there by occasionally picking up groceries or running a quick errand, but most of the planning, remembering, and organizing fell on Linda's shoulders. As Linda ages, she feels the accumulated weight of her responsibilities. Retirement was supposed to be her time to rest, but she discovers she's just as busy, or perhaps even more so, managing everyone else's needs. The sad truth is that Mark doesn't fully understand the extent of Linda's daily tasks. For him, these things just happen, almost like magic. Why is this important? Over time, this imbalance can lead to latent resentment. When a woman feels constantly like the project manager at home while her husband is only an occasional participant, she begins to question the fairness of the relationship. It's not that she wants to stop caring, but she wants her partner to recognize and share the emotional and mental responsibilities. Second, the decline of meaningful communication. A dynamic relationship is built on genuine curiosity, deep conversation, and the exchange of ideas. Initially, couples can talk for hours about hopes, fears, future dreams, or even small daily triumphs. It's very common for these dialogues to become routine. A possible change, initially innocuous questions like, "How was your day?" led to sincere conversations. Perhaps you sat together at dinner and shared what was on your mind, from career aspirations to personal concerns. But fast forward a few decades, and conversations may revolve around predictable themes: groceries, bills, or the kids' school projects. Some husbands may feel comfortable with superficial exchanges. "What's the weather like?" replaces "How do you really feel?" Without more intimate and engaging dialogue, a woman may begin to feel invisible. She longs for the emotional depth of the past, which made her feel understood and close to the man she married. The result? Without meaningful communication, a subtle distance creeps in. The woman may continue to talk, but may no longer feel truly heard. Over time, this gap can turn into a silent estrangement, eroding the once strong bond. Third, the ever-present burden of household chores. In many households, women still take on most of the housework, even in an era where couples often start by saying, "We'll share everything equally." Studies repeatedly confirm that wives, on average, do more household chores, cooking, cleaning, and laundry than their husbands. Daily frustrations accumulate. Dirty dishes pile up in the sink overnight. Laundry baskets overflow because one partner assumes someone else will fold the clothes, and the living room remains cluttered for days. At the beginning of the marriage, these things might seem like minor annoyances, easy to ignore. But multiply that over years, and it becomes a constant frustration. A woman might think, "I've asked him 1,000 times to put away his plate," and every unwashed dish becomes a symbol of disregard. Why is this important? In old age, when a woman imagines retirement, she might expect relaxation, freedom, or the chance to pursue new hobbies. If she continues to juggle endless household chores while her husband seems oblivious, it's no surprise that resentment grows. Ultimately, the question is, why do I keep doing everything myself? This latent frustration can harm the affection she once felt. Fourth, growing and evolving, but alone. As people age, perspectives change. Many women develop new interests or rediscover old passions like traveling, attending workshops, volunteering, or acquiring new skills. Growth can be invigorating, providing new energy and enthusiasm. The challenge arises when the husband decides not to join the journey or, worse, gets in the way. The woman may feel like she's going it alone. She might attend a photography course while he stays home watching TV, or she might plan a trip abroad but realize he has no interest in learning about other cultures. Emotional consequences. When one partner evolves while the other remains stagnant, a growing emotional distance occurs. The wife may feel like she's dragging her husband into life's new adventures rather than sharing them. Over time, this disparity in personal growth can make her wonder if she's outgrowing the relationship itself. The spark of physical and emotional intimacy fades. Intimacy isn't just about sharing a bed. It's about sharing vulnerability, tenderness, and the feeling of being desired by the person you love. Over the decades, it's natural for passion to wane. But there's a big difference between a relationship that evolves and one that becomes emotionally sterile. Why is emotional connection more important than ever? Feeling appreciated, a gentle touch on the shoulder or a sincere compliment can serve as a powerful reminder of shared love. Holding hands during a walk or cuddling on the couch can create a warmth no gift can replace. When these are lost, some wives describe feeling more like roommates than partners. The absence of meaningful touch, flirtation, or authentic expression can seem like a sign that the relationship is merely superficial. Over time, this disconnect can lead to loneliness and emotional estrangement for a woman, even if she still lives under the same roof as her husband. Fifth, retirement, a double-edged sword. Retirement is supposed to be the golden years, a time for rest, travel, or starting new hobbies. But what happens when a husband retires and has no other plan than to sit on the couch and ask, now what? A new reality. Some men retire without specific hobbies or independent social networks. They may expect their wives, who may also be retired or nearing retirement, to provide constant companionship and entertainment. The crucial factor for a wife who has taken on significant responsibilities, raising children, managing the household, and professional obligations, this new dynamic can be suffocating. You might have dreamed of retirement as a period of personal freedom and exploration, but find yourself having to respond to your husband's every whim. Real-life example. Tom spent 40 years working long hours and traveling for business. When he retired, he felt bored at home. Instead of developing new interests, he followed Barb's every move. Barbara felt she couldn't even go to the grocery store alone. Within months, her enthusiasm for retirement evaporated, replaced by silent resentment. She had lost her personal space and independence. Sixth, feeling invisible and underappreciated. One of the most heart-wrenching experiences in a marriage isn't a loud argument, but feeling like you no longer exist in your partner's eyes. A wife may feel invisible when her contributions, opinions, and needs seem to go unnoticed. Signs of feeling ignored. She shares an important concern, but her husband barely acknowledges it. She makes a significant change in her life, like starting a yoga class or volunteering, and he shows little interest. When she brings up a conflict, she's met with dismissive comments like, "You're overreacting," or "Don't be so sensitive." Over time, these moments send a hurtful message. You don't matter. Even if it's not the husband's intention, constant rejection or indifference leads a woman to withdraw. She may stop sharing her day or her worries, and the relationship drifts toward emotional separation. Seventh, realizing life is short and wanting more. As we age, the fleeting nature of life becomes more apparent. Friends pass away, health issues arise, and each year seems to pass faster than the last. This heightened awareness can lead a wife to reassess her marriage with fresh eyes. A thought-provoking reflection. Am I truly happy in this relationship? Have I accepted less love, affection, and support than I needed? Do I really want to spend the rest of my years feeling unsatisfied or underappreciated? Some women conclude that they deserve more respect, more connection, more joy than they've received. It's not always about anger or hostility. Sometimes, it's an awakening that prompts them to quietly distance themselves to protect their well-being. They may invest their energy in personal growth, friendships, or self-care while distancing themselves from a marriage that has left them feeling empty for too long. In summing it all up, why does this happen? It's crucial to understand that these reasons, emotional labor, lack of communication, household imbalances, stagnation, loss of intimacy, retirement stress, invisibility, and the realization that life is short, rarely exist in isolation. They are often interconnected and build upon each other over the years. No marriage fails perfectly, and every couple encounters obstacles along the way. But when these issues accumulate, especially without honest dialogue or mutual effort to resolve them, they can silently erode the foundations of love. A brief summary of underlying trends. Invisible emotional labor. The woman feels overburdened and unrecognized. Superficial conversation, lack of depth in daily communication. Unequal household chores. Small tasks become monumental obstacles when not shared. Disparity in personal growth. One partner evolves while the other remains stagnant. Neglected affection. Emotional and physical intimacy diminishes over time. Confusion of roles in retirement. The couple struggles to adapt to a new daily routine. Feeling ignored. She feels invisible or underappreciated in her own home. Limited lifespan. Awareness of mortality triggers a reevaluation of what she truly wants. Can this trend be reversed before despair sets in? It's essential to recognize that love is not just an emotion, it's also a choice. A marriage can be revitalized if both partners decide to put in the effort. Advice for husbands. Recognize emotional labor. Take the initiative to manage some tasks. Notice what needs to be done before being asked. Plan routines or family events. Engage in deeper conversations. Ask sincere questions about their day, goals, or concerns, and truly listen when they speak. Share household responsibilities. Create a realistic plan for chores and follow it consistently. Be open to growth. If your wife expresses interest in new experiences, see if you can join her or at least support her enthusiasm. Reconnect intimately. Small gestures, like an unexpected hug or kind words, can reignite the feeling of closeness that was missing. Have a plan for retirement. Develop your own hobbies, schedule, or social circle. For your wife, I am not responsible for entertaining you 24/7. Show appreciation. Thank her for the things she does, from the smallest to the most significant. Advice for wives feeling disconnected. Communicate honestly. It can be overwhelming, but sharing your feelings without blaming anyone can open your husband's eyes. Find balance. If you notice you're doing most of the emotional or household work, calmly express the need for equal sharing. Prioritize self-care, whether it's a new hobby, travel, or a quiet solo walk. Nurture your own interests. Stay open. If your husband shows a genuine desire to reconnect and is willing to meet you halfway, healing happens for both.